YouTube. It is October 9th. This is Wednesday, October 9th. And Hurricane Milton is about to make landfall tonight on the Tampa coast. Which is the west coast of Florida. I'm actually on the east coast of Central Florida. And you can see, even though the hurricane hasn't made landfall yet in Tampa, that's across the state of Florida, it's already severely affecting our weather here on the east coast. Now, the county I live in doesn't have mandatory evacuation, but they recommend that if you're in a low-lying area or live in a mobile home, hello, you should probably seek shelter elsewhere. Originally, I was planning on staying at my house to ride it out because, even though the hurricane is right now a Category 4, it was a Category 5 yesterday, and then it dropped down to 4. They expect it, to hit possibly as a 4 or maybe even stronger, and then as it makes its way across the state of Florida, they're thinking it'll drop down, be in intensity and possibly be a level 1, Category 1 by the time it hits my area. Now my area is slated, like right now, for the center of the storm. Normally, you've seen me in the past, with other hurricanes. I don't feel weary about them, but this particular storm, Milton, for some reason doesn't feel right. It feels different. I can't describe the feeling other than I'm uneasy. It just doesn't feel right. So originally I was going to try to sit it out and ride it out in my mobile home, because I figured the mobile home that I bought had withstood other hurricanes before. The only thing that collapsed was police have got something going on up here. I don't know if it's a crash or what. There's something going on. Or if they caught someone speeding, I don't know. Maybe somebody was speeding. Oh no, it was a crash. The car was all bashed up on the side, so they probably were going too fast to skid into the sidewall there. So I had bought the tax deed house, the mobile home, and it had, it was 1967 is when they put it up. And it's withstood a lot of different hurricanes that have come through here, and the only damage it took when I bought it was the back garage area had collapsed. But the house itself was still intact, The shed was ruined in the back garage area, but the rest of it was intact. So I think the house is in a pretty good position or location. They can probably withstand hurricanes, smaller hurricanes like a Category 1 or 2. But I've never tried to sit it out in a mobile home before. And this particular hurricane, like I said, doesn't feel right. It feels different. I can't even describe the feeling. I just don't feel right. I don't know if you can see the car is shaking everywhere because gusts of wind is blowing the car around. I was watching YouTube the other night and they were showing the damage from Helene all the way up in North Carolina. That's about 300 miles away from here or more. And the damage there was devastating. It wasn't so much the hurricane itself, it's all the possible tornadoes it brings, and in their case, I think rain. It brought a bunch of rain and caused flooding, and there were landslides and stuff. Whole houses, whole towns were missing, like wiped away. So, that probably may have contributed somewhat to my uneasiness. But anyhow, at the last minute, which is just about an hour ago, I decided I was going to try to evacuate. So, you know, if I was going to evacuate, I should have done it yesterday after work. It was nice and sunny. It looked like a perfect day. This is like a stark contrast from yesterday. But at the time, I thought I was going to ride it out. I thought I would stay home and just, you know, chill and ride out the hurricane. But today I started looking up the, you know, what the recommendation was. And they said that, you know, if you're in a mobile home or low-lying area, you probably should leave and seek shelter elsewhere. Now, they've got some shelters set up, local shelters that I could try to go to. But I've decided, you know what, I'm going to try to ride out of the hurricane. You know, so I'm actually heading towards South Florida, hoping the hurricane doesn't turn and go south. Normally, Hard Rock, the hotel and stuff, gives me comp rooms, but they're not doing it this weekend or during this hurricane time. I've tried to book rooms, tried to see, and they won't even let you book. I don't know if it's because they're closed or if all the hotels are taken from all the evacuees from the west coast of Florida, or what's going on. But I'm going to try to head down south because according to the forecast, the hurricane is going to move right through my area and then head up north out into the ocean. For now, it seems like the only safe spot in Florida is South Florida. Not the southeast, but the southwest, the Miami area. Fort Lauderdale, Miami area. So that's where I'm headed. And you know, I'm praying that the casinos are open. For the simple fact that if the casino's open, I can park in their, you know, multi-story parking lot, which should be somewhat protected. And you know, my van's equipped for living in. I mean, it's about 95% done. I just installed a bathroom yesterday. Rough shape, but maybe I'll show it to you if time permits. But basically has a bathroom and kitchen and everything else. So I brought a little bit of food to warm up, stuff that I had pre-cooked beforehand and stockpiled at the house to sit out the storm in the event that we lost power, which, you know, there's a high probability of losing power. And, you know, in my area, we get power outages even without a hurricane. So I was planning on power being lost, so I pre-cooked a bunch of food and was planning on heating it up with my van if I had to, you know, to eat. But now I've brought most of that food, not all of it, but most of it with me, so I can still heat it up in the van, and should have enough food to last for a couple days. Hopefully the food doesn't all melt. I have a lot of ice. You know, I froze a lot of water bottles, so we'll see how it goes. I will try to keep you guys posted and let you know what's going on. But right now, I am evacuating, and the wind is just like picking up. So I can imagine by tonight. Right now, it's like it's 3:43 p.m. So even though it looks like it's night, it's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. You know, 3:43 p.m. and it's dark. And the hurricane, I think, is slated to make landfall tonight in Tampa. That's clear across the state. I'm on the other coast, but you can already see the wind here. And this is not the eye of the storm, where the wind is, you know, some of the most fierce. That's one of the reasons I'm evacuating. Is the eye of the storm is expected to hit my area, and I didn't want to be in that little mobile home sitting there as the eye flew over and, you know, get hit by the outer walls of the eye. So prayers for everybody in Florida. Pretty much the whole state's like messed up right now, and especially for those people who are on the west coast of Florida. Hopefully you've evacuated by now if you're on the west coast. If you haven't evacuated, it's probably gonna be too late. You know, I'm on the east coast, and weather's already very bad right now. If you're trying to evacuate in this kind of weather on the west coast with the storm closer, I'm pretty sure it's even worse. So please stay safe, everyone. Pray for Florida. Pray for the people of Florida. And stay safe.